Hey, Lydia.
Hey, Vonda.
Surprise, everybody. Look at that guy right there.
Right
Y'all
there.
see his banner? That means that you will be seeing more of Sean on Just Talk. So I'm Vonda.
And I'm Lydia. And now?
And I'm Sean.
And let's get at it. You guys, the first thing I want to talk about is Mike Pence. This morning, guys, when I woke up, they said that it was 3 people. Before I went to bed, it was 2 of his staff members, 2 people that were close to him that had tested positive. This morning when I woke up, it was 3. Before we came on here, dude, it's up to 5. And they said he's still doing events. He's a super spreader for real. I mean, they said that him and Mother Pence have both tested negative, but something's not right. Why would you still want to go out and possibly be passing something on to other people? Like, he's not an essential person. They said he's essential, or he says he's essential personnel, but he's not. He should be quarantining, right? I mean, I never tested positive for COVID-19, and I did get tested when I relocated, but even when I moved, guess what I did? I kept my behind in the house.
Right. Yeah.
I want to know y'all's thoughts on that.
My daughter just got tested today for coronavirus, and it's already come back negative. But she wasn't taking, she wasn't going out there, and you know, she just knew she wasn't feeling good, and just like, let me just check. But people like Pence, even though they're testing negative, they could be carrying it, and I don't trust the test that they do, because a lot of times they take that quick one, the Abbott test, that is highly inaccurate anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the real, you know, he's really negative or not, but I wouldn't be taking any chances. And his butt needs to stay his butt at home with his family and just chill out for a little bit, because if everybody around you is catching it, then there's a good chance that you probably have it too. That's my little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So,
the Sean.
Yep, come on, Sean. Just talk, bro.
It's a couple things. First of all, every time we talk about Mike Pence, I just imagine Norman Bates peeking through the little
people. Oh my gosh.
The whole mother. Anyway, we all go a little mad sometimes. So here's the thing. First of all, we have no proof that when they say that he has a negative result, it's not like they're showing us the negative result. They're just telling us that he had a negative result. That's currently what we're dealing with in our country, is they tell a certain portion of our population something, and the population's like, okay, because they have that authoritarianism bent to them. They listen to what their authority says, which is not necessarily the authority in charge of things like, you know, proper testing and stuff. We've also seen this administration prove that they don't really care as far as infecting the places that they are doing their rallies in. I mean, I posted about this on Twitter. There are 2 scenarios. There are 2. It's just 2 scenarios. In one scenario, Donald Trump lied to Woodward. That means that he is a liar, and what else has he lied about? The other scenario is that he told Woodward the truth. It's a deadly airborne virus. He downplayed it to the public, and then he continued to pack his rallies while bragging about crowd sizes. Both of those are really crappy situations, and there are people that are still accepting of him and thinks that he's what's best for our country. He's either a liar or a murderer.
Or both.
Yeah.
And Pence is just carrying that. Yes, or both. You were exactly right. And Pence is just carrying that on.
Mm.
Pence is like the cheap
Agreed.
Darth Vader.
But you guys, so okay, this is what is the end game? So we know Biden supporters aren't going to these rallies. Do they not realize people still have to go out and vote, and more Republicans physically go out to vote and are going out this year to physically vote than Democrats? They're jeopardizing their base.
Yeah.
Go.
It's not the base that they care about. It's
Gotcha.
the rhetoric. It's the rhetoric and getting that out there. What they're trying to do is rile up the base. Okay, what they're trying to do is to, and this is my opinion, obviously. What they're trying to do is they're trying to cement their narrative into the minds of their base so that their base doesn't defect. I mean, look at the unmasking stuff. Oh, the Obama administration and their unmasking, that was illegal. Womp, womp, womp.
Exactly.
The emails, womp, womp, womp. And so what they do is they have to get out there with these people because it's easier to control somebody when they're right there, right in the midst of it. That's why there are more cults that are like communes. And in the cults, they shut down all outside communication because normal people talk them out of things that are stupid. But what they're doing is they're trying to control the narrative to their people in person. And that to me is what it's about. It's less caring about how they're affecting the communities. Because if they cared about how they affected the communities, they'd pay for the town fees that they accrue when they're at these rallies, which they don't do.
No, they don't. And I don't even, they wouldn't be coming to my town. I'm just saying.
No, they wouldn't.
Like in Tucson. Anyway. But what I was going to say is that maybe they just look at it like, okay, we infect these people, they make it to the election, what's that called, the polls. The thing is, the majority, I've seen the statistics on like the news and stuff, they were saying that a lot of, like 60% of Republicans still plan on just going to the polls on election day. So they have to make it there first. And if they get sick
Exactly.
weeks, what happens? I mean,
exactly.
I understand.
They'll still do their butts out there. These people will crawl across glass to re-elect Donald Trump.
And I will crawl across glass to get him out.
You're a good patriot.
So now this leads me to something else that has been on my mind. I was extremely surprised that Lou Dobbs came out publicly, officially spoke on Fox News, telling people not to vote for Lindsey Graham. First of all, we know Lou Dobbs got permission from Trump to say that, but it's like, why are they throwing Lindsey Graham under the bus right now? And I'm not saying this, please, let's not get it twisted. I don't live in South Carolina, but 100% Vonda supports Jamie Harrison.
Right.
I believe he's going to beat Lindsey Graham. It's just, what are they up to? Like, there's more to this. This close to the end, why are you going to throw him under the bus now? So, thoughts, opinions?
Maybe
both of you.
Maybe he's not valuable to them anymore. I mean, lately, especially on like some interviews, you see Lindsey Graham appearing weak. You know how Trump always likes this tough and strong persona?
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham is basically looking weak by saying, "No, please help me, please send me money because they just don't like me." and all this other stuff. You know, you've seen him say some really crazy stuff on some of these interviews and debates, and they're just like, yeah, let's just push him to the side. He's no longer valuable. He's dead weight. I don't know. That's just my opinion. They use you Trump will use you and then spit you out. That's the way he does everybody.
Back. Sean?
So Donald Trump, apparently in a closed door meeting, this news had come out before the Lou Dobbs thing, had stated that there were a couple Republicans that he wasn't going to be able to get behind. So I wonder if this is one of the ones that he was discussing. Basically the article headlines as they came out, if you want to look this up, it refers, Donald Trump says that there's a real chance that the Democrats are going to take the Senate. Okay, so that's the gist of the article, and he says it's because there are some Republicans he can't get behind. I think that this is a case because look at Lindsey Graham's history in modern, after McCain passed. We're going to get behind, get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the behind and bottom of that. Everything that he says he's going to get to the bottom of ends up turning into nothing. Okay, so his credibility is squat. The only reason why he's doing as well in the polls as he's doing against Jamie Harris is a controversial topic in my opinion, and nobody says it better than Lindsey Graham. In order for you to be black and succeed in his area, you have to be a conservative. That's straight up what he said himself. Okay, so maybe his constituents that are voting for him, that's their major voting point, is the superficial one and not what's actually on the inside. Because I'll tell you this, if I lived in that area, I'd be voting all day for Jamie, 100%.
Yeah.
I've retweeted this man so many times on my Twitter, and I don't even live in that area.
Right.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Look, take out your trash. You don't have to care about what partisan side somebody's on when they're trashed. All that they do is make you look weaker and worse.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a Republican right now, I would be snipping these cancers out of our party.
Yeah.
Nice.
But typically what Trump does anyway, he just uses you for what he needs and then he's done.
Yep.
If you're of service to him, he's done with you. So
you're done when he gives you the nickname.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's go into how you guys feel about people that have different opinions about politics than you do. So I think it was 2 weeks ago on Facebook, I had to go in, block some people and let them know, this is my personal Facebook page. Mm-hmm. I can say what I want on my personal Facebook page. Mm-hmm. I don't go to anybody else's Facebook page and berate them, belittle them, demean them, or put them down because they support Donald Trump and I support President Joe Biden. So I don't see a problem with having a discussion. I don't know why you can't have a discussion with somebody that has a differing view. Mm-hmm. I'm not a ventriloquist. Mm-hmm. I'm not a teacher. I don't know how to do witchcraft and do any spells. What I'm saying is, it's not my job to try to convince anybody. I don't even have time for it. Mm-hmm. Okay? I don't have time for that. My job, if you want to call it, I'll use air quotes, if you want to call it a job, is to just inform people. There's a difference.
Right. Exactly.
I have not told anybody, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, I'm not talking to you, or you're not going to be, my friend or my family member. What? I'm not doing that.
Right.
So I don't know why, how, or when it became okay for people to not be able to express their opinions.
Right.
No, nobody's voice should be suppressed. And there's a difference between telling somebody you're not going to bully me into thinking or doing something the way that you think I should do it. You can give me your view, that's fine, and leave it at that. It's your view,
Right.
walk away. So what do you guys think about that?
You want to go first, Sean?
So I have a couple thoughts on this one. And first of all, when you draw your boundaries with somebody, if they're your friend, they're going to respect it. So
That's
if
true.
you say, look, I'm okay with discussion on this particular topic, then you open yourself up to that discussion. But once you've decided to retract that and say, I don't want to discuss this any further, they should respect that. But more to the actual point, I believe that it's the actual tactic that's being utilized in the pushing of propaganda. The actual diversion, the radical left and all that garbage that he spouts is designed to dequalify us. I don't know if that's a proper word, but it call into question the quality of our statements so that we don't actually talk things through. Because when you actually talk things through, you realize that the man either lied to us or he intentionally tried to kill Americans.
Right.
Okay, he doesn't want us talking about that kind of stuff. Notice the difference in the conversation. Okay, notice the difference in the conversation. We don't go and say, I hate all Republicans, okay? But on the flip side, it is a total attack on the Democrats.
Yes.
Right.
Okay?
Every time.
It is the same thing that serial killers do to their victims. They make them into objects and not human beings so that they don't feel that emotional issue when they're suppressing that life, okay? It's the same thing. You dehumanize somebody. And that's what I think that this is about. And it's just people, they call you sheep, but they're following along with it themselves.
Hello.
Right. That's true. That's true. And it could go both ways.
You're right.
I didn't want to interrupt your thought. Were you finished?
Oh, no, please.
Okay. But what I was going to say is that for me, it has really affected me and my family. Let me just say, like, cousins, my father, just not my mother, but I'm just saying, it has affected me and like a lot of family members that I used to be really close with. So it's bothersome to me. I had one of my cousins drape herself in a Trump flag and say, I support Trump, and if you don't like it, you could just leave the country. And I had another cousin, they just had a Halloween party this past weekend, and one of them dressed.
They social distanced.
They weren't, of course, because they're Trump supporters. But they one of them one of my cousins was dressed as the Kenosha shooter.
Oh my God.
Halloween costume. And I'm telling you this because I had to block my family members because I could not deal. It was some of the stuff they put on Facebook was so offensive that I just didn't want it to disturb me. My peace is more important than staying connected to my family members. And so,
Amen.
But even some very close people I used to do ministry with, I used to, all up and down my timeline, you have people who I used to do ministry with who are just diehard Trump supporters, and that's your business. But when you start telling people they're not Christian enough, you're baby killers because you support Biden and just really, like you said, dehumanizing you or making you like shame you and guilt you into trying to vote for who they want you to vote for. Like, I think for me it's different because it's family. It's evangelical people that used to really what you call it, respect and work with. And for me, oh my goodness, it's hard. I literally had to put stuff on there a couple of days ago. Some guy got hopped onto one of my comments and tried to say that I was spreading misinformation. And I put out something about it was a preacher or something going off about how Trump was racist, and he was talking about that. One of my other cousins did a laughing emoji as a reaction, laughed at it, and my father, he put fake news and with a thumbs down, and I'm like, really? I mean, if you have a problem with my post, just keep scrolling. You don't have to be disrespectful by putting emoji. You don't have to claim fake news. You could just be respectful and just keep moving. We can respect each other's ideas, and I mean, just say, okay, that's what you think, and keep it moving.
Exactly.
The only time I can't keep it moving is when I see my cousin dressed as the Kenosha shooter, or stuff like that, and it disturbs me, my peace. And that's when I have to say I'm done. But I just think it's ridiculous how divided we've become, even amongst family members.
Yeah.
And amongst friends, and it's only one common denominator, and that is Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's my rant.
Yep. When they fly a flag with another man's name on it, that is literally the definition of a cuckold.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, we learned that they planted the flag on the moon, trying to take possession of that area. You plant the flag, that means it's yours. Right. So when they're flying the Trump 2020 flag, what they're saying is that their house belongs to Trump. That's that's how I view it. I would never have. I understand the yard signs. I'm not talking about the yard signs. I'm talking about the actual flags. I just don't get it. The fact of the matter is just like I stated. I think they're prey to the disinformation campaign. Look at Tony Alamo cult. It's the same thing. These cult leaders could do whatever they want to their cult followers, whatever they want. Okay, some really bad stuff, and they still support them. It's the same kind of thing. It's really hard for people to get over their bias. Mm-hmm.
Brainwash.
It's really hard because he spoke to them. They were mad because a black man got president for 8 years. Exactly. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's part of it right there. When they're talking about things like the what happened in Libya and all that, they're only given portions of the actual truth. Okay, the Benghazi thing, for instance, they bring up about Obama all the time. Well, they had the Republican Senate look into it and found him not culpable, and yet we're still seeing this stuff.
Yes.
A bunch of times, though. So
right.
Investigation for that.
It's but like, throw poop at the wall and hope something sticks.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's true. So, wow, that went fast. It's just about time for us to wrap up. So, let's do our little round table. So, Lydia.
You can find me at Just Lydia 111, and you can buy our merch at ojusttalk.net, and just help support us and keep us moving.
Sean.
I'm Indigenous Patriot. I'm at WIKWEKO on Twitter. Indigenous Patriot on everything. If you just look me up on it, it's Indigenous Patriot now. Part of Who Just Talked?
Part of the crew.
Yes, he's part of Oh Just Talk with two phenomenal, great women. And y'all want to know what's even better about this? Sean is Indigenous. I'm Black. Lydia's Mexican. And look how blended we are coming together. I'm so excited. This is awesome. So I'm Vonda. Go, Sean.
No. I was gonna make sure that you were putting your stuff in there too. I was hoping you weren't gonna forget.
Yeah, I'm Vonda, and you can find me at Ovonda, OHVONDA, on all social media outlets. And I also want to encourage everybody to follow Just Talk, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to the Indigenous Patriot, and the links for Sean's information and Lydia's information will be in the description of this video. So with that being said, everybody please vote. And I'm hoping that all of you guys are gonna vote blue like I did, but please vote, stay safe, stay alert, and remember, the comeback is always greater than the setback. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.